I think that there's a real possibility that this unboxing that we're about to do is the biggest Milwaukee tools unboxing in the UK, possibly even the world. So let's get on with it. That is a pile of tools. I've been waiting for this moment for a while. If you follow me on other social media channels, you'll know that a few days ago I was in Germany with Milwaukee, generating some content with them. And this, off the back of that, is what's arrived. So we're going to take a look at what's on the pallet. Forgive me for grinning like the proverbial Cheshire Cat, but that's why. I'm just going to start pulling things off this pallet. We'll see what each one is, and then we'll go back to the workshop and look at them in a little bit more detail. Let's start from the top. Heated jacket. Belt sander. Orbital sander. Handheld circular saw. Angle grinder. Heat gun. Rotary laser level. Drills. SDS drill. Multitool. Impact wrench. Impact driver. Jigsaw. Rear handle saw. Very excited about this. I'm a huge fan of rear handle saws. Super hog angle drill. Mini leaf blower. No kit is complete without a mini leaf blower. Super Sawzall reciprocating saw. Framing nailer with extended magazine. Plunge saw with a rail. And in that box there, that's a 305mm M18 cordless crosscut miter saw, which is very exciting. And this is the stand that has wheels on it that the miter saw goes on. That's a lot of kit, isn't it? I think, yeah, let's take it back to the workshop, like I said a few minutes ago, and get them all out of the boxes and get hands on these wicked, wicked bright red tools. We haven't really thought about how to frame this shop very well, have we? Tell you what, let's clear the bench. Let's clear the bench, and then we'll get these tools taken out of their boxes and we can look at more specifically what's in each one. Better, now I can see what I'm doing. So, I just want to open these boxes. I want to see what's in them properly, and I want you to see what's in them properly. So we'll just pick one and get going with it. First one is this First Fix framing nailer. Now I have had a go with this, and it has a specific party piece. It's difficult to show you on this kind of video, but you will see it in the fullness of time. First Fix framing nailer shoots big nails, ideally suited for timber framing, but it has a bump fire feature, so it'll shoot 3 nails per second without operating the trigger. Set it up into bump mode and bump, 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 bump. It will shoot nails to your heart's content. It is an absolute beast, this thing. Laser level. So unlike the one that we've had previously, this one does horizontal and vertical. It's an M12. It's on the M12 battery platform, and that's going to help us set our saddle stones out and one or two other different applications on the job site. But it's a very neat, very compact little unit, beautifully made. Nice. Screwdriver, impact driver, drill, those kind of tools live in here. So this is a kit. Impactor. Drill. I've had a play with these last week when I was in Germany with Milwaukee, and they are mega. Just because they're small, do not be fooled. They pack a punch. This is kind of everyday kind of kit. You'll see a lot of these in content coming up. We've actually got 2 sets of this. The other one, not surprisingly, is exactly the same. Cordless angle grinder. I believe this is a 5-inch, 125mm, yes, 5-inch. I've not seen one of these in the flesh yet. It looks like a very neat unit. Nice switch. Happy days. Guard, comprehensive, solid, standard Milwaukee. Everything that I've had my hands on feels just bulletproof. It really does. So that can go down there. This one's interesting. This is a 1/2-inch impact wrench. So sometimes we wind big coach screws into our oak frames, and historically I would use an impact driver with an adapter on to suit a socket, but well, we've got the proper tool now. This is an impact wrench. Which needs a charge. But I've had experience of these before, and they really do give a massive, massive whack. Some of the bolts we wind in can be a foot long, M12 into oak. Obviously we pilot them, but nevertheless they still take quite a lot of winding in. That's going to do that brilliantly. SDS. The SDS that I've had up to press has always been corded. I've never had a cordless one. Now we've got the Milwaukee Fuel M18 one. And it's a big one. That's going to be handy. Yes, obviously on job sites we have to drill holes in masonry, but it's also got a little breaker feature on it. So if we just need to smash a bit of concrete out of the way, generally do a bit of clearance, that's going to be the tool that we go for. There we go. Multitool. I can't remember what life was like before multi-tools were a thing. Now they are a thing. Now we've got the Milwaukee M18 fuel version. Feels nice, lightweight, quick release. Just everything feels so solid. Two sanders, invariably doing what we do, means that we have to do some sanding. We've had an Orbital Sander for some time. Now, we've got the Milwaukee M18 one, Orbital Sander 125mm, I believe. Yes. We've also historically had a belt sander, but the belt sander that we've had has always been corded. This one is cordless. This is one of these pieces of kit that I haven't seen yet. First inspections, looks good, compact. A few things to get to grips with, tightening the belt, so on and so forth. But yes, that will sit just nicely. If there's more aggressive sanding than the Orbital is designed for, belt sander will come out with the additional portability of it being 18 volt on the M18 platform. Two sanders. This is something that I've never had in my arsenal of tools before, and that's a reciprocating saw. Sawzall. This one is a super Sawzall. Milwaukee do two types of Sawzall. This is the one that has the orbital action, kind of a pendulum action, operates very similar to a jigsaw, but great for demolition. In fact, we've just come off a job where we had to demolish an old deck. This would have been perfect for that. They come with all sorts of different blades for cutting wood and metal, and some of the blades cut wood with metal in them. I've experienced that firsthand. Super Sawzall. We'll definitely be getting some action. Two smaller ones. Now these aren't related, but this is a heat gun. M18 heat gun. We use a heat gun for heat shrinking the pins on our staddle stones. So the staddle stones that sit underneath the legs on our oak frames, they come with a mild steel pin in. We like to heat shrink them to keep a barrier between the oak and the steel. That's what that's going to be used for. Historically, we've had a corded one. Now, again, we're just going to be more efficient, more nimble, more mobile, cordless. And this is an M12 mini leaf blower. I've not seen one of these in the flesh before. I haven't even seen this one. You can see this is a genuine unboxing. Two different attachments. Let's see if we can put it together quickly. Very cool thing. Very cool indeed. Portable leaf blower. Actually, we don't blow many leaves at all, but what we do is blow sawdust around the job site into a corner before we scoop it up at the end of the day, and it's even been known to blow sawdust out of our vans. Very, very handy piece of kit. Big smile. This is the M18 fuel rear handle saw. I'm a massive, massive fan of a rear handle saw. The first one I got came from the States. The second one I got was a different colour. Now we've got the red M18 fuel version. Again, I've not seen one of these in the flesh. There's a blade for it there, look, which I'll put in later. Feels nice, battery goes in top. These are just so versatile. Blade on the left, so you've got direct line of sight. If you've never had a go with a rear handle saw, I can't shout about these positively enough. They're just brilliant as a concept. They've been around in the States for years, relatively new on the scene in the UK. Now I've got the Milwaukee M18 fuel version. Happy days. This is a different kind of circular saw for slightly different applications. Still M18. This one's come as a kit. It's got a charger and 2 batteries, which is very nice. So this is more of a top handle one. Again, blade on the left, direct line of sight. Feels nice. Just put a battery in it. These aren't charged. They all need charging before you use them, but just want to get a feel for balance. Ooh, there's a bit of sauce in it, there is. Nice. And a bag. This is an angle drill, but it is no ordinary angle drill. This is called a super hog, and it's an angle drill that's been eating its protein shakes. This is what we're going to use to drill our oak posts. It's unbelievably heavy duty. It is quite heavy, but that's fine. Two-handed use. Very exciting piece of kit. All metal, rubber. Just feels on top of the job. Plunge saw. So like a lot of the tools that we've seen already, our previous plunge saw was a corded one. Now we've got the Milwaukee M18 fuel cordless plunge saw. This is interesting because it's in one of Milwaukee's famous, and I mean famous, pack out boxes, which I've now got to work out how to get into. Ah, here we are. And in here is the plunge saw. Quite a specialist piece of kit. We use this for cutting ends off deck boards when we're making perfectly straight lines. It runs on a track. We've got one of the tracks here. This is an 800mm long one. This is a short one. I believe we've got one of the longer ones coming. These come in 1.4 meters and 2.7 as well. But for now, we've got an 800. But what I like very much about this is it's bright red. Matches everything. Bright red, anodized rail. I was having to play with one of these last week, put it through its paces. We did a rip cut, full depth, and it just munched its way through beautifully. So stay tuned for this in some coming content. But it's going to get a bit more exciting now because we're going to look at the crosscut saw, which is a bit of a beast. I played with one of these last week. I was impressed beyond reason. It's an M18 fuel 305mm chop saw, crosscut saw, miter saw, call it what you want. But I've been waiting for this for quite a while. This, I believe, is the battery. Now, all M18 tools run on all M18 batteries, but this one This one's a bit special because it's a £12 high output red lithium battery, which my understanding is that's the biggest one that they do. You can, I probably will, put that on the impact driver. It's not ideal for that because it's so big and heavy. It's ideal for tools of high demand. But just for a bit of a giggle in the future, I'm quite sure that you'll see that on some of the smaller tools, just for comedy value. 12 amp hour high output red lithium battery. I think I'm just going to take a minute and put a blade in this. So we've just spent a minute or so, but only a minute or so, getting this thing up out of its box and ready to rock. There really isn't anything to do. It's already set, already dialed in. All you've got to do is put a charged battery in it, put the blade in it, and you're ready to go. The next thing I'm going to look at is the stand that this goes on. So let's get that out of its box. I sense I'm going to have to read the instructions for this because it's a fold-up saw stand on wheels, so I think we'll be a bit more cautious of this one and get the instructions ready. So we've spent 10 or 15 minutes assembling the stand. Straightforward. It's mounted, it's ready to go, it's ready for work. I'm very excited. I haven't had a brand new sight chop saw ever. The one that you've seen in content previously, I bought that secondhand 15 plus years ago. So let's put a battery in it and fire it up. We've got a 4 amp hour battery. The 12 amp hour one that it comes with is on charge, but all M18 gear works on all M18 batteries. So when I had to go with that last week, what surprised me was the total lack of difference between a corded plug-in machine and this 18-volt one. The difference is virtually undetectable. There is one other trick that this has up its sleeve, and that is additional portability courtesy of the stand that is on wheels. Check this out. So what I've given you there is a very, very brief overview of our new tool selection. There is a jigsaw in the mix and a heated jacket as well. If you'd like to see what we get up to with all this kit, out on the job, on site, please like, subscribe. It'll cost you nothing and it helps me out tremendously. On that note, I'm going to stay in the workshop for a bit longer and have a go with each one of these tools and familiarise myself with them. I'll catch up with you next time. Bye for now.